It's a festival that'll have you seeing double. And even if this event that celebrates twins weren't held every year, there are enough of them in southwest Nigeria for visitors to notice anyway. The Reuters news agency reports that every family in the town of Igbora has at least one set of twins. The founder of the World Twins Festival says a few years ago there were more than 2,000 pairs of them in attendance. One woman there this year says her mother had 5 sets of twins and that she was the only child who wasn't one of them, but she really wanted twins of her own so she could dress them the same, and sure enough, she had them. So is there something in the water, as the saying goes? The locals think the food has something to do with it. Okra leaf and a dish made with yam and cassava flour are popular. But a doctor says it's more likely just genetics. And the people who organize this event hope one day they'll be able to set a Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of twins. From Nigeria, we're headed to China next on The World from A to Z, but not before we say hi. Welcome, I'm Carl Azuz. So good to see you this Wednesday. Across the Pacific, tensions encircle the island of Taiwan. It's about 100 miles southeast of the Chinese mainland, and Taiwan's president recently angered China by promising to resist annexation or a potential Chinese takeover. What's that about? China sees Taiwan as being Chinese territory and wants to control the island. It's threatened to take over Taiwan by force if China thinks it needs to. For its part, Taiwan has its own democratic government. It wants to keep things as they are and not be controlled by China. But as punishment for the Taiwanese president's suggestion that his island would resist China, the communist country held military drills around Taiwan this week in a show of strength. China says the idea of Taiwanese independence is, quote, incompatible with peace in the region. Taiwan and the U.S., one of its allies, say it's China's military exercises that threaten peace and stability. Taiwan is one component of the ongoing rivalry between China and the U.S. Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump have both said they want to outcompete China on the international stage. Meanwhile, U.S. intelligence officials are warning that China is trying to influence American elections at the local level. Are there any harmonious signs between these two world superpowers? Well, China has sent pandas back to the National Zoo in Washington, D.C.
Panda Mania is back in Washington, D.C. 2 3-year-old giant pandas completing their journey from southwest China to the American capital. Tuesday's touchdown of the Panda Express marking a rare bright spot between the U.S. and China. Tensions over trade, technology, geopolitics, and more leading to fraught relations. Enter Bao Li and Qing Bao and panda diplomacy.
Even though there's a pretense on both sides that this is just about conservation, ultimately the underlying subtext is, only China in the whole world has pandas. And so if the relationship is good, China will share their pandas with us.
Professor Judith Shapiro says pandas have long been used by China to project soft power, or an image of itself on the international stage that is favorable and can build goodwill. U.S. President Richard Nixon's ice-breaking trip in the 1970s to communist China during the Cold War eventually led to pandas arriving in D.C. Now, decades later, the bear's return could be the beginning of a new chapter in the rival superpowers' relationship.
This is clearly a very smart move on the part of the Chinese to bring these pandas back.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Where in the world? This was one of the 13 original British colonies in America. And in 1788, it became the 10th U.S. state. It's the birthplace of 8 presidents, more than any other state. This is Virginia, named in honor of Britain's Queen Elizabeth I.
On this date in world history, a white American abolitionist named John Brown attempted to lead a slave revolt on October 16, 1859. He took control of a U.S. armory at Harpers Ferry, Virginia, and took dozens of hostages in the process. Brown's plan was to form an army that would free slaves in several American states. but he didn't receive the backing he expected from slaves or supporters. African-American abolitionist Frederick Douglass, for instance, was a friend of Brown's who did not join the raid. U.S. troops eventually broke into the armory and defeated Brown's forces, and he later became the first American executed for treason. His raid became an influential event in the lead-up to the U.S. Civil War.
Word and knowledge. Which of these U.S. presidents kept the promise that he would serve only one term? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Rutherford B. Hayes, Theodore Roosevelt. President Washington started the tradition of limiting service to 2 terms, but the one who promised to serve only one and refused renomination was President Hayes.
Did you know in the election of 1876, Rutherford B. Hayes won by just 1 electoral vote? It was the closest electoral vote in U.S. history. To learn more about the Electoral College, visit periodicpresidents.com.
Elevator mechanics, electrical linemen and women, dock workers, air traffic controllers. These are 4 examples of jobs that don't require a traditional 4-year college degree, but can all pay more than $100,000 per year. We're not saying people should avoid college. Some of the highest paying jobs in America, doctors, public relations managers, physicists, engineers, they often require higher education. And many of the so-called blue-collar jobs, the ones in labor or trade that do pay high salaries, are only landed after a formal apprenticeship or associate's degree is completed. The takeaway here is that the path to financial success doesn't always pass through a university campus. Once more today, here's Michael Yoshida.
There's a surprising trend that appears to be paying off for younger workers.
Success should not be measured by the color of the collar. With the lack of skilled labor force and those trade and technical jobs, we see the need and the impact in the economy that we need more of those jobs.
Over the last 5 years, enrollment in bachelor's degree programs fell, while enrollment in vocational schools grew. That according to data from the National Student Clearinghouse.
You won't have that college debt. You won't have those student loans that you normally have with that college education.
Part of the shift appears to stem from a post-pandemic reevaluation of an investment in blue-collar work.
This shipyard runs an apprentice program giving workers the skills to do these jobs. They can earn up to $100,000 a year, and you don't need a college degree.
Both the federal and state government have invested a lot in infrastructure, so you're seeing a lot of jobs in those areas in construction.
As hiring rates for workers in their 20s have risen in recent years for roles requiring a vocational or associate's degree, some offer this warning.
You can get a high-paying career, a great wage right out of high school without a college degree. Yes, that is absolutely true, but we also need to pair that with leadership skills and leadership education and saying, after a few years, do you really see yourself physically doing that job all the way through retirement?
And experts say they do believe this newfound appreciation for skilled trades is likely to continue. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Most states have more than one nickname, but the Evergreen State is the only one that's officially used for Washington. Mr. Finley's class is there at Centralia Middle School. It's in the city of Centralia. Minnesota has like 8 nicknames, including Minnesota. But we'll go with the land of 10,000 lakes, where Mr. Michelson's class is awesome at Dakota Hills Middle School in the city of Eagan. And we're stoked to announce South Stokes High School, Mrs. Foucher's class. And I hope I got close on your teacher's name. Thanks for watching from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the Tar Heel State. Aggressive is an adjective not often used to describe pumpkins, but when a policeman in Ohio responded to a call of a giant inflatable gourd on the loose, the Halloween decoration wasted no time in assaulting an officer. No first responders or inflatables were harmed in this dashcam video. And since the pumpatrator, can't really be cuffed and booked, backup officers helped wrestle the yard gourd and bring it back to its owner. What would they charge it with anyway? Pumpkinspiracy? Puragery, disturbing the police, stem embezzlement, obstruction of justice, aggravated a squash, pyrole violation, disorderly conduct? Oh yeah, it's easy to see how the charges could pumpkin pile up. I'm Carl Azuz for The World from A to Z, and it'd mean the world to see you again tomorrow.